Very good morning to all students of East West International College. We welcome you to be family of East West International College. Yeah. This subject is we call it study skill. Yeah? Study skill is an important subject before you start the program with our college, because to be effective learner, to be a successful learner, you must have some skills. In this situation, we're talking about study skill. So if you have a skill better than your friend, you can learn much faster, you can comprehend the teacher's lecture much faster, and you can have a better result. This is important at the end of the day when you completed your program with us for the next 2.5 years, because all this will be recorded in your transcript, in your final result. So to get the best result, to get the best degree or diploma from our place, you need to have some skill to do your study, so that you won't feel very heavy or difficult to do the study. If you don't have the skill, then you will feel very difficult for you to complete your program. And some students, sad to say, half of the way they stop, they drop off from the college. So they also waste your time. We also waste our time teaching them. Parents also waste their time paying us, and you don't get any at the end of the day your diploma, and you mean nothing because you're back to square one without anything in your hand. So wherever you want to go, you want to proceed for your degree also, nobody can accept you. And if you want to get a job also, you will get a very low pay job. So we need you to pay attention on how to learn to be a skilled student, so that you can benefit, and you won't feel very heavy in during your learning time with the college. So for a start, we have to do this study skill program to understand you as a student, and so that the lecturer can evaluate you and how to handle you during the teaching time. Every person or every student, there is a difference. We all have the indifference. So it's a very difficult job for the lecturer to going to understand each one of you. Which if they manage to do it and you also manage to understand what category of student you are, then both parties make easier for us to bring you through the 2.5 years in our college, so that you will in the end will get a very good result, and in the end of the day you can get a better job and better salary and better employment terms. Yeah. So for today class, what we begin to do is that our learning objective is on the ice breaking, 2 the learning style, 3 the characteristic of a successful student. So we have only 3 learning objectives for today, because our class for this study skills is only 1 hour, and it does not carry any credit in your marks. It's more, this one is for your benefit as a student, not included in the transcript. So what is session 1? What is ice breaking? So ice breaking in Malay, we can say suai kenal lah. Untuk kenal lebih mesra. You orang muda-muda tak kenal tak cinta. Macam tu lah kan. So kalau you tak cinta dengan college, kita pun tak cinta dengan you, in the end dia akan breaking lah. Dia jadi macam ice breaking lah. Pecah 2, 3, 4. You berhenti, kita pun berhenti. Jadi nobody benefit. So In the first instance session, the student and the lecturer must have this ice breaking untuk suai kenal. Yeah? So in the class later on, the lecturer, Miss Atika, will go with you more on the ice breaking session. Yeah? I will just do the lecture. The class will be taken over by Miss Atika. Yeah? Okay. The second session, we are talking here learning style. This is very important, and you as a student have to pay attention, and the lecturer also pay a very special attention. If this learning style can be understood by both party, and then the follow through of the teaching will be much easier. Yeah. So what is the learning style? What is your learning style? So what we have to do to know your learning style? The lecturer must know your learning style, and you also must know your learning style. So this is very, very important. Please take this very important note once in your lifetime. Once you got the right on the track, and then you'll be plain sailing in your study in our college. So to know your learning style, we'll have a simple test or simple analogy which will be run in the class by Miss Atika. So this test or analogy that you have to go together with Miss Atika in the class will in the end will come up with a yeah. So the result will be the score. The score of the result, they will break you into three categories. Whether you are visual learner, or you are auditory learner, or you are kinesthetic learner. So currently, we are focusing on these three types of learner. Even now in research, they said they have even up to 9 category. That's a little bit more to detail, which I think, or I reckon in this diploma, these three category, if we can identify, is good enough for us to start you learning from our place in our college. But later on, when you take your degree, also maybe you go more to deeper inventory to know your learning style. But for the time being, these three is enough you as a diploma student. If we can identify and we can work together with you during your study in our college. So what will happen after the evaluation? Yeah, we will see whether you are visual. What is visual? See it lah, tengok lah, tengok. Tengok lah. Auditory. What is auditory? Dengar, hearing. Yeah. Kinesthetic. Do it, kerja. Action. Yeah. So the result will show which category you are. So if you are visual, if you are auditory, if you are kinesthetic, how do we handle you, or how will you handle yourself? Let's see the next slide. So I said just now, you will group into three groups, either visual, or the auditory, or kinesthetic. So for visual learner, okay, the first category, if you are tergolong atau kamu termasuk dalam kategori visual learner, so what is the thing that we need to do? Visual learner need to see information. What it is mean? If you prefer style is visual, selepas test yang kita buat nanti, ya, kamu dikategorikan visual learner. You have strong visualization skill and can remember objects, shapes, and pictures. You learn by reading and by watching films, videos, and demonstration. You can see pictures in your mind. So let's say after the test, you are categorized visual learner. So a visual learner, you must know that you are now is a visual learner. How is your preferred style? That means you would like to study through visual. Uh, You like to see objects. When you want to study, you like to see the shape. You like to see pictures. You like to read. You like to watch films. You like the demonstration. So all this will help you to learn things that we're going to teach you. And the teachers now have to think how to provide these things that is suit to your learning style. Maybe the teachers cannot fulfill all, but maybe out of your style they can fulfill 3 or 4. That's maybe good enough. Yeah. But this the teacher must prepare. If they said you are visual learner, so the teacher must teach you in the online more pictures they have to show, more object they have to show, more notes you have to put, more videos you have to post in your learning management style, learning management system, so that it will fit to your learning style. That is what is all about. Okay. The next one, if you are auditory learners, so if you are auditory learners, so what happened? That means you like to hear, you don't like to see. So your preferred style is auditory, hearing. You have a good ear, ears. You got a good ears, 2 pair of ears. Doesn't mean the visual learner don't have a good ear, but they don't like to hear, and can hear difference in tones and rhythm. Reading out loud will be beneficial. You can remember what you hear in lecture. So if you is auditory learners, so the lecturer must know. If he want to teach you, he must speak loudly. He must speak, maybe walk around and walk near you. Berjalan-jalan dekat kamu. Sebab bila dia bercakap, you can hear, then you can understand. Even there's no picture in front, you don't bother because you're not interested to see the picture. But you like to hear the voice of the lecturer because the voice of the lecturer will catch up with you and you can understand what they say, even without watching the picture they show in front. So the lecturer, if in the class there are auditory learners, they are visual learner, the lecturer have to really have to have a tough time doing moving around and teaching. So for those visual learner, he has to post a lot of pictures, object in front there. And for the auditory learner in the class, they have to go and walk around near the student to talk and to talk loud so that you can hear clearly, you can understand very fast. So if like now online, what happened? Well, definitely the lecturer not going to set the computer and walk to you, but he must talk loud, like I'm talking now, loud. Then you hear it very clearly. Even you don't see any picture also, you still will learn it because you are auditory learners. Yeah, that is what it's all about. And if you know that, you must clearly, if the teacher don't speak very loud or you don't hear clearly, please ask the teacher to be loud. Because if you don't hear, you can't learn. You don't get it. Because whatever in front there, they show the picture, you don't learn. So this is very important to understand you, and also the lecturer must understand you. Yeah? Third, kinesthetic learners. So for kinesthetic learners, you need to apply physically active and doing things. So if you are this style, you have preferred this style, is kinesthetic. You are in hands-on learner. You have good coordination and learn by doing. You generally have active approach to learning. So for kinesthetic learners, normally we will say that if you are kinesthetic learners, you better take the program which have uh, we have have some kind of hands-on learning. Yeah. For example, if you are a kinesthetic learner, so we'll advise you, why not you take diploma in culinary art, because culinary art there are a lot of hands-on learning rather than teaching or theory learning. So this is why we want to know. So before you enroll, we will ask, if you know that you are kinesthetic learner and you want to make a heavy, you want to take a very academic program, we said this is not really suitable for you. So why not you take the program which kinesthetic, because there is suit to your personality. But if you still say no, I still want to take the heavy academic theory, we can't stop you. But we already advise you from the beginning that this is more suitable for you from the other program. Yeah. So doesn't mean that you are a kinesthetic learner, you can't take the other program. But we have to tell you from the beginning, so that in case anyway along the line, along the 2.5 years, you have problem learning because you are kinesthetic and we are teaching more on the auditory and the visual learners, because the program is suit for that kind of student, then you cannot blame us. You have to blame yourself, because we already advise you. So we must identify, because if you don't identify, later on halfway you have this problem, you have problem, we have problem, we can't do anything. You already waste half of your time, we also already waste half of our time. Yeah. So this is very important for us to identify from beginning and advise you accordingly. So all in all, there are 3 learning styles that we are focusing. So you have to choose which one is learning style and which program is normally suitable for your learning style to be a successful and skilled learner. Yeah, to be a successful and again skilled learner. Once you are skilled in your learning style, and then it's easy for the lecturer to teach you and easy for you also to study, because we have 2 parts here. One is teaching, one is learning. Teaching is by the lecturer, learning is by the student. Yeah. If the teacher teach and the student didn't learn, then nobody going to benefit, because at the end of the day you won't pass, or even you pass, you don't have a very good result, so you waste your time with us. And then we also will very feel disappointed because we don't produce a good product. So what we want here, we want to make sure every student get the best result. So like a factory, we want to produce a good product that people would like to buy. But if you produce you half-baked product yang tak matang, product yang tak cukup cantik, who's going to buy you? So we also will feel bad. The government also will feel bad, because the government will ask us, how many students you produce? 1,000. How many of them got job? 200. That means the other 800 is no good product. Yeah. So this is where it's very important for you and us, because we are answerable not only to you, not only to your family, father and mother, but also to the government, to the nation per se, because they also help you through your study, through your PTPN loan, all kind of things. Yeah. So we just complete the slide on how to be a successful student. So the next slide now is, or the last slide, is that uh, uh, how can you become a successful student? Yeah. So number one, for sure you have to attend all classes lah. So that is the main thing. You start dropping classes, spontaneous classes, you're going to miss knowledge that the lecturer teach. Fortunately or unfortunately now, because of this COVID, all classes are lectured online, and we are very lenient that we even record the lecture and send to you. So even you didn't attend the online lecture, you still have the lecture recorded and sent to you. By right, this is not necessary, but we know that most of you, some are slow learner. First time you listen from the lecture, you may not clear, so you can listen back through this recording lecture. And those who miss the lecture because of whatever reason, sick or whatever problem, overslept, so at least you can also listen to the lecturer and you don't miss the class. So at least this attend classes issue currently should not be a big problem anymore lah. Yeah. Number two, you must be an active learner. What is active learner? Active learner means during the online classes, you must, when the lecturer asks you question and asks you whether you understand or not, so don't be shy to ask. Yeah, because we know that you don't know anything. As far as concerned, we don't know anything. So the lecturer is going to teach you. So you don't be shy to ask because you thought that you don't know, then you look like stupid. No, we are all stupid people. We learn from each other. So to become a smart student, to become an active learner, you must ask a lot of questions. Even the question looks silly, doesn't matter. So it's better to ask silly question than not to ask any question. You're going to lose it. So don't worry. You ask silly question also, the lecturer is not going to penalize you. The lecturer is not going to cut any marks on you. So why you bother? Just ask. Okay? If the lecturer say you silly, yeah, I'm silly because I'm learning. So you just tell the lecturer like that. Not to worry. Okay? Then to active learner and also to participate lah in the class. All the exercises, all the quiz, all kind of things that the lecturer asks, you should participate. Why they ask? Why the lecturer asks? The lecturer asks is to test your understanding on the subject matter which the lecturer is teaching. So the lecturer is teaching, on your part is learning. So to make sure the lecturer know that you learn from what they teach, they have to ask you the question. They have to ask you the quiz. So that is why we have this class participation is important for the lecturer to assess your understanding, your comprehension of the subject matter that we teach. Because that is the important thing. If you don't understand, then the lecturer fail as a lecturer to teach, and then you also fail as a learner. Then get to know your lecturers. So different lecturers have different style. You will find that there's no one fit can fit all the lecture is the same, the way they teach or the way they deliver the lecture. So you must know some lecture style, some lecture uh, words they're talking, all these things you must be attentive. You cannot expect one lecturer and another lecturer is the same. So as same like the children, same like the student. All students are different. So the lecturer also have to know each student. To know each student, they have to give you the pre-test, the post-test, the quiz, all kind of things, so that they can understand each of you. What are you going to understand each of you? They want to understand each of you how well you are, how good you are in certain thing, how good this student with another thing. From there only they can teach you. If they don't know your weaknesses, if they don't know what you know or what you don't know, they cannot teach. Yeah. So there are two ways. You must know a lecturer. The lecturer also must know you. So get to know a lecturer is very important. How they teach, what kind of system they are giving you. Some lecturers like to give you quiz. Some lecturer no, they will just ask in the during the lecture time. So all this doesn't matter because there's no one fit rule for the lecturer to do. There are many ways of them to teach. Yeah. Then you also form study group among you and your friends. Maybe one class we have 20. So one of you can make group of 3 or 4 or 5, so that you can discuss some of the subject matter has been teach. If you don't understand, maybe sometime difficult for you to understand the explanation by the lecturer when you ask, but maybe your friends understand very well and they can speak your own language, your own style, so that you can easily understand, because they will translate it to your own mold according to your own way of speaking, talking, and interaction, communicating among yourself. Yeah. So study groups is very important. Yeah, don't miss it. And then stay update with your work. So the lecturer will give you quiz, test every class, and they will definitely want it to be submitted within a week time. So 1 week time, make sure you submit your work up to date. Because if you don't submit, then the lecturer cannot assess your comprehension on the subject you teach, and he doesn't know or she doesn't know how to proceed further for the second lecture. But if you can understand how much of each of you comprehend, then maybe if the subject they teach earlier is not very clear among you, so the lecturer even can repeat certain point, certain thing that you don't understand in the earlier lecture. So that's why your date, your work must be submitted with you during the due date for the lecturer to assess your comprehension or your understanding on the lecturing which they have given. Okay, then be receptive to change. Now we can say that if you 1 year ago you're learning from any institution, it's a face-to-face lecturing. Now suddenly with this COVID, totally changed 360 degrees. Now all delivered online. So you need to receptive to the change. You need to use all the online application for the lecturing and to understand and how to operate. If you refuse to learn, if you refuse to change, then you're going to left behind. Nobody to teach you. You want to wait for COVID to over to start study face-to-face back, we don't know when. Till today, the government still asks us to teach until the end of the year. Until the end of the year, I presume it's not totally we can go back to face-to-face. Maybe the COVID still unresolved. There may be some restriction to do face-to-face. Probably there's still online or maybe hybrid of teaching face-to-face and online still there. So if you don't change yourself to understand how to receive the lecture online, then you're going to left out. So any change on the delivery or any change on the subject matter, you need to receptive, take positive action, not to think negative. Once you think negative, then you're going to leave behind. Not going anybody to help you. Yeah? So every semester is a hard semester. Let's say we have 7 semester. So don't say that, oh, this is my first semester, I relax first. I only will focus or work hard on the final semester or the last 2 final semester. This is not going to help you because your grades that we're going to mark is for every semester. So if first semester you're weak, then at the end of the day, your cumulative CGPA, your cumulative result will be also very bad. So it's going to affect you. And then also another big thing, if the first semester, if you don't understand the subject matter, then when you go to the second semester, it's going to help you. For example, we have English Composition 1 in the first semester, and then we have English Composition 2 in the second semester. So if the English Composition 1, you are weak, you don't understand, then when you go to study the second semester for the second subject for the English Composition 2, you're not going to help you. It will drag you down. Same thing on the other subject, which have the continuity, for example, accounting, and so forth. Yeah? So every semester is a hard semester. So if you think that you want to relax first, second, third semester, you only focus on the balance of the semester, I can bet you at the end of the day, your result is not going to be good, or maybe even you fail in the subject matter. So these are things that we already listed for you to be in a good student and how to learn the study skills, the skill that you need. So everything you need skill. Okay, you cook at home also you need the skill. If you never cook, suddenly you cook, you're not going to have a good meal from the what you cook because you don't have the skill. Same thing like in education, you need all this skill. You have this skill, you learn faster, you learn more, and you're not going to lose. You're not going to fail, for sure not going to fail. But you don't have the proper skill, you will waste a lot of time, do your study, and you won't be learn as much as your friends who have the study skill. So these are the few things that on this first topic that we highlight. on the study skill. You will continue with the lecture to get more explanation on the study skill, and then we'll see you on our next topic. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum. Uh, Now, whether you are success or not success is all is depend on you. That's what we've been telling just now. Yeah. Uh, what people think it look like or what is really looks like, it's all depend how you look into the thing. Yeah. So that's for today class that I have to uh, on my lecture. Hope this start for the topic one is a good some basic knowledge that you have learned from us how you should manage your study skill. So once again, thank you. Ms. Atika will bring you through the class on the class that you need to together with him. So thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.